I'll wait. I'll wait. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You seem to have a question. Yeah. It takes a long time. I started, for instance, War and Peace. You know that great Tolstoy novel? 1967 I started that. And I'm about 3/4 of the way through. It's really fucked up when you're dyslexic.
Like it so far?
That's the way it goes. A lot of actors are. Don't know why. I don't even know why I brought it up. Anybody? Sir.
Will you ever do Dances with the Stars?
You know, there's not that much in this life that one can be sure of. I'm damn sure I'll know. Sir.
Yeah, did it take a lot of, when you did play in Sons of Anarchy, did you do a lot of research, like on real MC clubs, and, I mean, how was that for you, like on emotional part of it, to actually come up with that character as strong as you did? Because I think you're like the strongest, you're like glue when you were the president of that club. And then, but did you do like a lot of research on MCEs, and
Well, you know,
how did you develop your character as Clay?
Kurt went out of his way to really go up to Northern Cali, spent a lot of time with the Angels, was obsessed with getting it right, but not just in broad strokes, but you know, getting in there and seeing all of the minuscule behavior, and set it as a family drama rather than as a bunch of guys with scratch. You know, like bikers are very often portrayed very superficially. So he was really obsessed with getting the nuances right. I'm not here. And then he directed us as to all the stuff we should be reading, what we should be looking at. But we all, it was imperative that we immerse ourselves as much as we could in the mindset and what it was that these guys all have in common, so that we could be as true to it as was possible.
And you actually write?
Yeah. Schwinn. 3-speed. Training wheels. But anyway, sir.
Hellboy 3, possibility?
Hey, Peter. One of the great filmmakers of all time, right there. Beautiful. Hellboy 3, not yet, but it's definitely part of the conversation. What I would say is that I think we're at the point now where Guillermo is finally seeing how serious an idea I think it is, and that he's started a conversation with some money people. So if I was a betting man, I would say 55%. We got a chance of doing Hellboy 3.
All right, thank you.
But you got to keep putting pressure on people. If you know, social media, whatever.
Getting there.
Cool.
Getting there.
Yeah?
Did you have any heroes growing up when you were a child?
Tons. And that's very much in the book. I had so many heroes. My first hero was Mickey Mantle, because I was a New Yorker, and he was kind of like the guy that they write poetry about. He was so much larger than life. You know, he was hurt all the time. He was battling his osteoporosis, which is this horrific bone disease, and yet he was the fastest. He just was this anomaly of characteristics that made him like John Henry. So he was my first. And I got most of my heroes from the guys who were my dad's heroes. So the first 4 chapters of the book is dedicated to what I learned by just being around my dad and what I took away from that, you know. But he loved movies, which is probably, you know, why I got turned on to it at such an early age. And the guys he loved had a lot of swagger, you know. Burt Lancaster and Gable and Cagney.
That's how come you came out so good.
Huh?
That's how come you came out so good.
Thank you.
All the inspiration. Thank you.
For the people in back.
Get your own signing. Can everybody hear me? He's saying use the mic, but it's like, hello?
There you go. Now you gotta do it.
I can't.
know, reading your book, I relate a lot, so how did you get the willpower to keep moving forward when times were probably, you know, when the odds were coming against you, the tide was probably like swinging hard, and you had to like pull yourself to like swim against the current. How did you gain that, you know,
Can't see.
courage?
No glasses.
No,
You were young today.
I mean, it kind of looks like courage, you know, when you look back on it. But really what it was I kept, every time I started to think about, man, maybe this is stupid to just keep banging my head against the wall, I just did an assessment of what it is in this life that would make me as excited as this does. And, you know, there was nothing ever that came close. So there was never really any choice. You know, I had to stay with it because it gave me, what it gave me back when it was working good was hard to put into words, but you know, it was, you know, huge. And it kind of made whatever I had to go through. And I also understood that, you know, it's kind of, you know, when you hang in there and stay with something, not take no for an answer, it's kind of like, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But I'm glad I hung in there because I'm here to sign books and shit. Yes, sir.
Why didn't you kill Jack Steller?
Well, if I wrote the thing, he'd be... I would have killed him a bunch of times. Season 2, probably. But I didn't write it, so. Yes, ma'am.
On the topic of Sons of Anarchy still, can you share with us the experience of your final day on the set and what how much time you spend with you guys still now, and do you feel a sense of loss of that brotherhood?
I definitely feel a sense of loss of the brotherhood. We got really, really, really close in those first four seasons. Really close. And spent an awful lot of time with each other, both on set and off set. And then the story started to change. And I started doing a separate storyline, and just by nature of that, you know, they're going their way, I'm going my way, and eventually, by the time we shot the scene where I get shot, I was completely adjusted to, you know, the fact of that, and ready for it. And by the time we actually shot it, I had had the script for about 2 weeks. So basically, that day was like every other day. It was like, all right, how do I play this and make you believe that it's my last breath on earth, and show you what I want to show you as I go out. Who am I going to be looking at for that last moment? What's happening here and here? And then basically it was just about getting it right. It was just about like playing like any other acting exercise where you're just trying to, you know,